Hey, hello there. Welcome to the fourth episode of Employee Engagement Live. I'm Shrikant Acharya. I'm the CEO at offineeds.com. Offineeds is a leading corporate gifting and merchandise company based in Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad. And I'm super thrilled because today's session is going to be very interesting. I'm going to be speaking to somebody who's like super popular on LinkedIn. I actually came across him on LinkedIn. I became a fan of his posts. His posts are really insightful and really engaging, all in the domain of HR, recruitment, talent acquisition, and employee engagement. So I was thinking I absolutely had to have this guy on one of my episodes. In just a minute, I'm going to bring him live. So let me introduce myself. I'm Shrikant Acharya, CEO at offineeds.com, and Employee Engagement Live is a show which happens every Friday, and I try to get you experienced professionals, authors from the HR, corporate communication, and leadership organizations, leadership levels of different organizations, and try to dig their brains, pick their brains, and ask them questions about employee engagement, employee experiences, and productivity, and everything around those lines. So in today's show, we have a very interesting personality. His name is Sumukh. I'm going to so Sumukh is the give me a minute. All right. So Sumukh is the recruitment program manager at Prione Business Services Private Limited. Now Prione and Cloudtail and Prione are India's Amazon partners. So they work very closely with Amazon and help with a lot of the e-commerce execution which happens. And Prione's vision and mission is to help a lot of small and medium businesses across India to be able to enable and set up their e-commerce business, which I think is an amazing, noble vision in itself. And they've already helped over 150,000 plus small and medium businesses across India sell their products and goods on different e-commerce platforms. So apart from that, Sumukh has got a PhD in human resource, which from VTU, and he completed his MBA in HR in 2009, and that's about 12 years of diverse experience in predominantly in HR, but mostly with respect to recruitment. He's worked in recruitment and talent acquisition, in Anakin management, in EXL, in ANSR, and then Cloudtail and Prione. So without any further ado, let me bring to you Sumukh SG. Sumukh, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the Employee Engagement Live.
Thank you so much, Shrikant. Thanks. It's glad to be part of your show. I'm very overwhelmed with this introduction. Thank you so much for this.
Perfect. So let's get straight to it. Let me ask you the first question I ask every one of my guests. What, according to you, Sumukh, is employee engagement?
I think in simple words, employee engagement is just like holding your employees to a company so that they engage with you, they feel included, they feel motivated, and they feel they are brand ambassadors of your company. So making so is employee engagement. Like every other organization is like doing this right now. Employee engagement is one of the hottest topics being discussed in every social media or in any well-known universities. The research topics, everything is focused on the employee engagement. In fact, my research topic is also one of the part of employee engagement. So
fantastic.
Making included to the company and making them as brand ambassadors, in my simple words, as employee engagement.
Love it. I love it that you use the word brand ambassadors, because at Offineeds, our mission statement is to help organizations to convert their employees, dealers, and customers into brand ambassadors. So I'm already loving it that we are speaking the absolute same language. So for the audience here, I want to tell you that this session is going to last for about 45 minutes. So please pay attention. There is going to be a lot of value that you're going to derive, and any questions that you have, make note of those questions, because towards the end, I'm going to open up for questions, and we are going to have Sumukh answer those questions for you. So Sumukh, your core experience, your core expertise has been talent acquisition and recruitment, right?
Right.
Now, my belief is that employee engagement starts from day one. And maybe it might not even be going too far to say that employee engagement actually starts even before the recruitment process begins. Am I right in that? What are your thoughts on that?
See, employee engagement is like, it is not only engaging the employees who are already there in organization. It starts with from the candidates, the people who are the
Mm,
prospective employees, the people who apply to your jobs. Those are all your brand, let's say, the engagement mechanism. So in simple
right.
terms, we call it as candidate experience, like how
Mm,
we create candidate experience even before the people start to work with you. It's called candidate experience, where how do you engage with them, what is the value add as a company you're providing to them, what is the how smooth you're making their interview process, uh,
mm,
what is the promises that you're giving, and what is the value that you as a company bringing to their candidate experience. So that starts from there. Like talent acquisition is just a part of the process, and then uh, it starts from the candidate experience, employee engagement, talent experience, everything from there. So according to me, it starts with the candidate experience, how as a recruiter provides an candidate experience. There are companies who promise 2 day, 5 day promises. Let's say uh, you attend interview with me. I will make sure that within 2 to 5 days, I will give you the feedback. That will
mm,
make a wonderful experience for the employees. And
mm.
once you join, I'll make sure that you or offer letters, everything is being released at so and so time, and your onboarding will be so smooth so that you will not find any hassle in documents or you'll find difficulties in engaging with our employees or with the recruiter. So that's the first step of employee engagement starts from the candidate experience. So that continues onboarding uh, throughout the journey of the employee state in the organization. So the entire process, uh, according to
Yeah.
me, like it's like a one big thing where we see it as a good experience for the candidates or an employee.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with you because I know what pain a prospective employee, a candidate who's applying for a job has to go through in the application process, then waiting for the interview, then multiple rounds of interview. That entire experience is itself can be quite stressful if not dealt with properly. And they may not be excited about joining the organization itself if it's not being handled right. So that's a great point which you said. So let me ask you
I'll
what.
just bring a story here. Like we are just working for our employee for a role, and we offered a candidate, and the candidate was also holding two other offers from different companies. And
Yeah.
incidentally, our offer has been little lower than the other two offers what she was carrying. And
Okay.
one day she comes and tells, I have holding another offer. I was like, okay, there might be a chance that she might not join. Then she comes back and tells, say, no, I am going to join your company only. I said, why? You are holding a better offer than us. She said just one thing, like, see, the entire experience, what you have given me in the interview, that I don't think so any other company has given me. That itself will
Mm,
know that how my journey in the entire organization will look like. So that makes her
right.
interesting to her join. So this candidate experience wins against any other monetary benefits.
Absolutely. I love it what you said. The candidate experience wins over any monetary benefits that you can really offer. And that's music to the ears of the management, right? So if you get that right, and it's absolutely true. People are not switching jobs or changing their careers only for monetary. I mean, monetary has to be in par with at par with what's the market standards, right? But it's not, that's not all. And your recruitment and talent acquisition, the whole experience, because you see so many posts on LinkedIn where people are complaining that I attended an interview, it was 3 months back and I didn't get an update, and all kinds of things, right? So tell me about one or two things that recruitment managers can do to be able to bridge that gap, to be able to deliver a better experience for candidates who are attending the interview, irrespective of whether they become a part of the organization or not.
See, one is very simple solution. These days, we have technology helping all
Mm,
the recruitment managers to give a good candidate experience. Earlier, when we started, like I started 10 years before, there was not how the technology is today. There is no much technology was available. Uh,
mm,
So we used to call every candidate, hey, this is your status, this is you're cleared the first interview, next interview will be happening in 2 days, can you please wait? So when there's a bulk of, let's say, 100, 200 candidates applying for the same job, and as a recruiter, it will become difficult for them. But how a
Correct.
recruitment manager can use leverage the technology is now there's super technology applicant tracking systems, which
Mm.
will give an intimation
ATS.
to the candidates at every step. Hey, you have cleared this step. Hey, your
Yes.
resume is pending with this person. This
Mm.
is what the further steps going to look like. And nowadays, there's a lot of implementation of artificial intelligence in this entire process. People are using even the IVRs to screen the candidates. Like you
Mm.
apply for a
Okay.
position, you will get a call from a company. Hey, please press one if you have 3 years of experience. Please press two. You have
Okay.
this skills. Like this is
Okay.
like so much of automation and AI is already in place. But as a candidate, one best thing what as a candidate I look for is my company responding to me whether I am in consideration or not. So that
Mm.
manager can use simple technology, the new applicant tracking system ATS, and
Mm.
every step, whatever happens, you just have to click one button, and the entire technology will keep the your candidate warm. They will know what is
Right.
happening. So you need not to have a manual efforts in terms of what is uh, updating your candidates. So
Right.
one make use of technology, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is like too much for today, but for next tomorrow definitely it's one of the basic factors. But technology, good ATS system,
Right.
uh, and uh, keeping them informed in every step will make a good experience.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. I love it. I think ATS is really a game changer. There are plenty of application tracking systems which are available, and it's not something that is exclusively available only for large enterprises. There are plenty of SaaS softwares which are available for even very, very small organizations, and I think that's a great way to engage candidates irrespective of whether you want to hire them today or not, because a few months down the line, few years down the line, you might have another requirement, another opening that might be suitable for that kind of a candidate, right? So that's great. You spoke about technology, Sumukh. I want to touch upon another point here. Now, I know Prione and Cloudtail are kind of working very they're like sister concerns or something like that, and we all know that Cloudtail and Prion, both of these organizations are operations intensive, are sales and marketing intensive. That means you have a lot of staff who are picking the phone, making calls, speaking to customers, feet on street, going and meeting, visiting factories, all that kind of thing. So it's not all developers, and it's not all people who sit on a laptop, right? So it's a very, very different kind of recruitment which happens at scale. And I know you do recruitment across all cities, if I'm not wrong. What, 50, 60 odd cities, or you can correct me there?
Yes, yes, we recruit from starting from Jammu Kashmir
Mm.
to uh, the deepest part of Tamil Nadu. We have a lot of offices around the
Right. So
country,
tell
and
us a
we
little bit about how you do that. That sounds very, very challenging and very cumbersome to me.
see. One thing is like I just take a step back here. Like it's just not only the doing the process of interviewing or finding the candidates. I'll just step back. So identifying the candidates or the prospective in these cities are difficult uh,
Mm.
once beginning. But what we do here is we have a decent engagement mechanism at every step. Like
Mm.
we have a company page followers, and as a recruiters, we have our
Mm.
own followers. We get connected with people in each city, just not only Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata. So if you go to like in Madhya Pradesh, deepest part of Madhya Pradesh, deepest part of Telangana, like these cities, like sometimes we recruit. All we do is there are certain job portals which are available only to find sales and marketing professionals.
Mm.
There are uh, a list of bulk list of candidate pools available in internet today, and we also get connected with local institutes like the colleges, institutes who we get we fresh graduates.
Mm.
And then we do the market mapping of people coming from a different same companies from a previous experience. And we also, the best part is we do the employer referral program. So the employer referral program gives us a lot of scope for the employee. Uh, they refer their peers. They'll know, like, I myself residing in Bangalore for 10 years. Let's say I know I come from a place where I know my school friends, college friends who are still working
Yeah.
in my place.
Right.
And whenever the job opening, they will refer to my company. And that's one of the
Mm.
good employee referral mechanism where you refer the people to company and you get a monetary reward or some goodies and merchandise that you can get. So that's why that people get motivated and apply. So these are the many channels that we use identifying sales and marketing. And by design, sales and marketing is the, like, people hesitate to get into that domain because there's a
Mm.
target oriented, pressurized.
Yeah.
Uh, you'll have to work 24/7. Like this, the domain itself is challenging. On top of
Yeah.
it, finding people throughout a country is like adding one more project. So,
Yes.
and the other part is like our own employees find, once they join, they find our company culture, everything is
Yeah.
good. Then they start
Mm.
referring their own peers, friends, colleagues from the same college. So that's
Mm.
where we identify people from different part of uh, country.
Right, right, right. Perfect, perfect. I think that's really really interesting on how you do that. So now, so when the recruitment happens, does it always happen on Zoom or some kind of a virtual platform, or is it face to face interviews that happens? And I'm not talking just about in the kind of COVID kind of a situation, in the pre-COVID situation, how it used to happen.
See, overall, if you look at uh, how the recruitment is evolved, I'll just take some anecdotes here and examples
Sure.
and tell you. Uh,
Mm.
Earlier, the recruitment was like you will have to come to our office and give the interviews.
Mm.
That's the set process. Like manager wants to meet the person face to face and judge based on the face value whether the person is suitable or not suitable.
Mm.
Your answer skill set is one, but plus your face value will come next. So that
Yeah.
was a tendency in the past. But last 2 3 years, courtesy given that technology evolved so good, uh,
Mm.
we don't even meet, or generally people, we don't even meet the first round of discussions uh, uh, face to face or even telephonic. Now there
Right.
is online assessments, virtual assessments, telephone assessments, and AI based assessments. So there's so many things that come into place. Once you apply for the role, if recruiter shortlists you, you will get an assessment telling, hey, you're being shortlisted from this company, and these are the assessments that you will have to take.
Mm.
Now, be it any big company, if you apply for Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, no, first one, no recruiter will gonna call you and tell, hey, you're selected, can you take? You will get a
Mm.
link. You have to complete that
Mm.
assessment. Once you complete the
Right.
assessment, that will become a shortlisting mechanism for everybody.
Mm.
Then your interview process will start. So that's where we also follow some sort of technology here, and we identify people based on some assessments throughout uh, a country, and then we all meet either through Teams, Zoom, or we have a telephone discussion. Gone are the
Perfect.
days like you have to present in the office and
Yeah.
meet your manager face to face, and see. We as a
So is
company
that
plus
is that is that as a reaction to the COVID, considering everybody is working from home,
no.
or is that been a practice before that?
See, COVID has blessed us with so many things. Like
Mm.
that's shown. Yes, this is also a possibility. It was going in
Yeah.
a like a uh,
Nobody was in a
slow
hurry
curve.
to do that.
Yeah, no need to hurry to do that. Anyways, we are doing it. But this is the need now. Like
Yeah.
you can't ask your employees to, your candidates to come to office and give the
Correct.
face-to-face interviews. Just like
Correct.
they can be any part of India. They need to have
Yeah.
one good mobile phone and internet connection, and your job is done. So
Right.
I think the future of interviewing and the future of uh, candidate experience is going to be through virtual mode. I don't think so anywhere soon. People are so adopted, accustomed to the technology, interviewing in video conferencing mode and the virtual mode.
Yeah.
And switching back to the old mechanism itself will become difficult now.
Will become difficult. Absolutely. I love the way this interview is going. There are so many questions that are bubbling in my mind. But I want to, I'm sure there are a lot of, I see Yugandhar, thank you. I see you have a question already. I'm going to read it out in a few more minutes. And I want to urge the audience, put in all those questions. There are a ton of questions that people have related to talent acquisition and recruitment. How do you do it? And one common question that I see with HR. Okay, I'm bubbling with questions. Let me address one at a time. Okay, so how do you do onboarding? You made an offer. See, the most exciting thing about joining a new job used to be, hey, wow, this is an amazing infrastructure. We have gym in the office. We have we have a pool table in the office, and these are my colleagues, and this is the cafeteria. Here's how I can sit and gossip, and the company is sending me a cab to pick me up. That used to be the exciting thing about day one at a job, right? So today, day one at a job, you're basically staring at the screen all day. So how is that different, and how does virtual onboarding really happen, and how do you make it work?
See, when I just college passed out and I was giving interviews for something, I went to Maneta Tech Park for my first round of interview. I attended some company for interview. I saw the infrastructure. Wow, this is the company which I wanted to work. Wow, such a big office they have. This big laptops, this big chairs, like what an entertainment. They have cafeteria, everything. That excites me so much. Like for any fresh graduate, that's the point of excitement who joins the organization. Now, if you look at some of the very good companies like Google, Microsoft, LinkedIn, their office is like, wow, you feel this is the dream company I have to work. Like that type of setup for them.
Yeah.
But after COVID, that's not
irrelevant.
Anymore,
it doesn't matter.
Irrelevant. Like we don't even go to office, and we don't even know when the office will back and how soon we can join. But how this has changed is the point of excitement we need to bring here in terms of the smooth onboarding process. One is like how your recruiter or your onboarding team will get engaged with a candidate once they join. How smooth your documentation process happen, how your background verification will happen, how you will join to the system, what are the systems, tools, technologies. And very more important now, the exciting factor for every company, the onboarding goodies or onboarding gifts. What nowadays it's a trend, and we also follow. How do you make them exciting to join? Right. So this itself is one of the big factors. Like if you look at LinkedIn or any other post, what people make excited. Earlier they used to take a selfie. Hey, I joined Microsoft, I joined Google, or joined this company Infosys 3 years before. They used to post. But now what they put, I joined this company. I take a selfie with the goodies what they received from the organization. Like interesting, the nice t-shirts, laptops, whatnot. Like so many goodies they'll get it from the organization, and the customized goodies and printed name on their t-shirts that will excite them. Like they feel, wow, I am welcome so much, so nice. So that's how the one of the things where it will make exciting for them to join. And once they join, also like how there are digital workboards these days. Like, hey, this person has joined this company, and their company's official post website will have their one small photo telling this person has joined us. So that itself is welcomed and virtual mode of making people exciting nowadays.
Right. Perfect. I love it. It feels like you're my spokesperson. We're talking about, I absolutely agree with you. And I feel that, new joinee goodies is very, very important, because that's the only tangible aspect of it, right? Before you had the cafeteria, you had all of those kind of things. And the only tangible aspect, the only thing that you can hold in your hand are those goodies. So really, really love it. There's another challenge. So guys in the audience, I know you're penning down your questions. In just less than 5 more minutes, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to ask you to actually, you can start typing in your questions, anything that you have. And let me remind you, the 3 most exciting questions will get a 500 rupee gift voucher from one of our portals called safety.offineeds.com. Now, Offineeds is a corporate gifting company, and we've launched a portal called Safety by Offineeds, where we've listed a series of products that are required to keep you and your family safe in these challenging times. So the 3 most interesting questions will get a 500 rupee gift voucher from this platform. So please start typing your questions away. Yes, Yugandhar, I know yours is the first question, and that's a really interesting question. I'm going to open that up in just a minute. So one of the biggest challenges that recruiters always have is no shows. You make offers to so many candidates, and they don't show up. So do you have some magic spell that you can do to increase the possibility or the number of people who show up?
So that's the difficult question for me. Like there is no magical spell telling like you have to do this, and there's, if you do that, the person will join. Yeah, that's part of recruitment. So
Right.
we know how to handle the situation, but apart from that, there's some ways that
Maybe
you
if you have
can.
one or two tips, because you're a large organization, right? You have the Amazon name backing you, but there are plenty of people here who may be from medium to small size organizations who may not have such a phenomenal brand to talk about. So one or two tips that they can do to improve the conversion, the number of employees showing up after taking the offer.
See, one like I'll just just give a background here. Like I know people, recruiters, how far they go to make their candidates join. I know this was a few years before some of the organization has made an offer to an employee, and it's a very crucial role. Just one day before, actually he met with an accident and he was in hospital. And when he called to the HR and told, "Hey, I am met with an accident. I can't join your organization. Give me 15-20 days time to join." But that's like one of the common statement that what we listen from them. And I know for the fact, like that lady, the HR, she went into the hospital and she checked whether this person is really admitted or not admitted. So like that one step that person has taken, that's not required. First, one thing, one, you have to make a nice. You have to monitoring is definitely one benefit which every candidate will look into organization when they join. Apart from monetary benefit, how you are placing your company as a brand in the market, that itself will make very nice thing. If you know company like Dunzo, uh, like how they place themselves in the market as a Dunzo, like the creative advertisements, the way of the working, the how they operate, that itself is they make it very clear message to the organization. And anybody who gets an offer from Dunzo, they'll prioritize anybody other than Dunzo. So that how do you place your organization in, especially now in the days of social media, how people talking about your organization, how people interact with your organization, that will definitely attract talent.
Awesome.
And nonetheless, the candidate experience throughout a process, like from the application stage to the offer stage, how the kind of candidate experience will reflect your organization, how you are operating. If you're giving a good candidate experience, that will reflect how as a personality and as a company which will do. So that will excite them to join. Apart from that, you have to keep a frequent touch points with the candidate, just not only talking about work. I interact my candidate. I go one level deep. What is the interest area? I talk about IPL. I talk about COVID. I talk about family. Talk about kids. So those are things I get one level personal connect with them. So if I'm doing one level that personal connect with them, so they feel, hey, this is somebody who is personally interacting with me. Just not like I got an offer from a company and I want to join that company. No, nobody cares whether I'm joining, I'm not joining. Nobody's bothered. It should not be that approach. Like as a recruiter, you should go one level deep, understand what their hobbies, what their kids do, what their family do, what is their interest. Talk about that, socialize, and ask them to come to office to have a coffee or just meet their leaders. Doing all these things like will reduce the chances of the person not
showing up,
not showing up. So that's how some of the things that we can do to improve.
Right. Awesome. I think you partially answered the first question Yugandhar asked here. So how do you personally influence and ensure recruits have a good first 6 months so that you don't have to start recruiting the position again? Now, this is a pain a lot of us feel as management and as entrepreneurs? Right? It's an extraordinary question, and I would like to one answer it for one, like you to one answer it from an organization point of view. But does a recruiter also have a role to play, or is it like I recruited, handed it over to the team, and my job is done?
No, see, probably the bigger organization, let's say people are 4 lakh, 5 lakh people are working like Infosys, Wipro. So the recruiter is just responsible for hiring, and after that, they don't even know
Mm,
which team they're joining and what they're
mm,
operating at. But as
right.
an organization level, what happens is like, how do you manage in the first 6 months? Is like the strong onboarding process will make them
Yeah.
inclusive.
Mm,
Uh, as I have seen organization me giving the plan for first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days.
mm,
What
mm,
you have to achieve in 30 days. 30 days is just knowing each other. 60 days you have
right.
to knowing the culture of the company. 90 days you will have to accustom to the type of that work what we're doing. And which
Mm,
includes meeting so many people in the organization, meeting
right.
your clients, meeting your stakeholders, and
Mm,
understanding what's your future in the company. Just not only joining the organization. If you give
right.
uh, the process where what happens for you in the next 3 to 6 months, that will
Mm,
make inclusive. And then one thing there in the market is like for 6 months is a probationary period. In the probationary period, a lot of managers try to uh, give a lot of work or tell this is the organization you have to achieve this, this is what you have to do. In this mode, people instead of feeling inclusive, feeling to be work, they will get panic. In that panic mode,
mm,
they'll start looking for different jobs, and they'll feel this is
mm,
not the organization which I want to like. Instead of making a smooth plan, like as a employee, as an organization, they should look at employee as their assets and
mm,
employee as their own, their
mm,
one family like that. So what
right.
happens then? You will give a career path to them. In the day one only, you will make your employees telling, hey, this is the next 30 days you will have to just understand what our company policies, procedures, thing.
Mm,
And 60 days you will have to learn these all the technologies that we are operate, or this is the thing that what we need.
right.
In 90 days, this is how you are accustomed to our culture, and then this is the goal that you will be operating.
Right.
After 6 months, if you're doing everything, if somebody feels, hey, strongly, this is not meant for me,
Mm,
that's where they can take a call. Otherwise, as an organization, as a manager, the first touch point is not only getting your done work done for immediate thing, but also as a long term. Like this is
mm,
your
right.
career for 6 years, 1 year, 5 years. Like
Mm,
show the right career path to them. Then everything will set uh, normal, and you will have a long term goal
absolutely.
in the organization.
Absolutely. Perfect. I love that answer what you said. Let's get another question that I like the question that Bhavya has asked here. Does the new joiner have the tools needed to maximize their work purpose, especially in a work from home situation? And what does an organization need to do to be able to enhance their potential, to be able to upskill them, to be able to get them future ready? So what do you do at your organization, or what is your advice that organizations should generally do to be able to achieve that,
See,
especially in a work from home kind of a situation?
okay, right. See, work from home is like for few months it will become. Uh, once I started working from home, it was very difficult for me, and then like after 3 4 months, it became normal for me.
Mm,
Like I know this is how we need to operate. Uh, for any new joiners who will work from home and they joined a new organization, it will be definitely difficult. It's not like people can say that's how we are doing. Like it will be difficult. It's not that
yeah.
easy.
Mm,
People, you join a new organization, don't know anybody physically, how they
mm,
all you see their camera, video, and video.
yeah.
But given the fact of technology, you can see what are the uh, cultural or your functional or any uh, courses you require to be in your to know better your organization and to know better about your team. Once you have everything in place, the new joiner need not to ask anybody, hey, can you tell me what does that mean? Hey, can you tell me how do I go about it? You have a
Mm,
ready reckoner telling this is what organization set up, this is what we do, and employee
mm,
can go and watch those videos and do
right.
see that e-learning tutorials. This will give them the confidence. I know what I'm doing, and this will know. how they're operating that. Second, you will have a strong launch plan, and which will enable by technology. Launch plan is something very simple. Make them give them a small goals for the next 6 months, how they are getting included in the organization, what is that they are operating in. Once you have that launch plan and in the technology, let's say make a small Excel sheet or any tool. I have done this much today. They have done this much today. This is my goal. This is how I've developed. This is what I've delivered. So doing this will help the new joiners and the manager both to get to know each other, and they can operate at a large scale. Plus, the things will get done smoothly.
Right. Perfect. There's another excellent question here. There are two questions that I want to bring up actually. One is from Kaushik. I'll come to that, Kaushik. But before that, I have a question here from Kiran, who says, what are the 5 things that you suggest to make candidates take up the job with a lesser brand value? Right. So you kind of address that a little bit. So if you can specifically tell, 2, 3, 4, or if you have 5 points in your mind, you can let us know what you think.
Sure. I don't have 5 points in mind, but let me cover whatever points in my mind. See, one, taking offer at a lesser brand value is not all organizations are same. Some organizations want to brand themselves. Some organizations don't want to brand themselves. Let's say I am a BPO setup operating in Bangalore. I don't need to brand myself as a BPO setup. I don't need to give advertising in every social media and every website. Let's say a company like Swiggy, they operate in the brand name only, like how people buy from Swiggy, how people use Swiggy. Getting offers from a BPO, let's say BPO job from a people don't have a brand or a Swiggy will make a difference, right? Like how to choose your company with a lesser brand value. One, you have to talk to the hiring manager, understand what does
no, I think Kiran is asking from the point of view of an employer. So if as an organization, our brand value is not as powerful as Swiggy or Dunzo or Amazon or something, what can the HR manager in that organization do?
Okay, so that's an interesting point. So that way, see, one is the recruiters or the onboarding team or the whatever the little infrastructure you have, that itself is a brand for you. Because those are all the face of your organization, right?
Right.
Once you join to the organization, the first person whom you will meet is the recruiter. So though you don't have a brand, just making a small little PDF telling, hey, this is what as a company we are operating, and these are the employee engagement activities that we are doing. This is the awards that we won, and this is what our long tenured employees say about us. And this is how our company grown in last 3 years. If possible, putting some financials of company, how great they are doing, and some of the extra perks, benefits, what they get at the organization. So just giving this document will give them a confidence. Just not only the recruitment, this company has something else to do. And then talking, making a frequent connect with them, understanding what is the purpose of them to applying for your job, why he needs to apply for this. Let's say I am a company having a lesser brand value and I pay less also. And there is a company which has a good brand value and pay more. If somebody wants to join my organization, I'll have to make my own USP. My list out what are the USPs that as a company has. And then put the stronger USPs in the candidate experience and make sure that those touch points or USPs are being covered to the candidate at any point in time. Like I've seen while hiring managers taking the interviews, they just don't only take interviews, they'll offer a coffee. Let's go for a cafeteria, just not only the formal connect, let's go coffee cafeteria, I have not had lunch. Can we have lunch and have discussion? So this type of conversation will feel like just only a very formal kind of organization, casual connect also, which will candidate will give a confidence. So these things will help the candidates feel your company valued, even though the lesser brand value. And most importantly, when you're offering, when you send an offer to a candidate, just not only tell, hey, your compensation is 5 lakh rupees, your variable pay 50,000 rupees, this is what your TDS. That's the lamest thing that any recruiter can do, or any competent person can do. You have to give the entire, take 15-20 minutes time of yours and the candidate,
Mm.
explain each and every benefit, what as a company you are joining, what
Right.
all the things that you can see as a company. So this will make a company a strong presence.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Love that answer. That's really really well said. So I do the same, right? So we are a small organization, and what happens is small organizations have a lot to offer in terms of the exposure, in terms of being able to work directly with the management, in terms of being able to have visibility and learning experience across multiple domains. Vis-a-vis a larger organization, if it's a really large organization, till you join the company, you don't really know what you're going to be doing, right? So
Right.
you can kind of showcase those benefits and showcase that vision to the candidates to be able to onboard them at the time of interview, I mean. All right, so we have a few more interesting questions, so let's take it. Let's stretch the time a little bit if required, but there are some really powerful questions here. uh,
Sure.
so Kaushik asked, what are the 3 or 4 most important skills that you look for a candidate apart from job description?
See, job description is one where we would cover most of the things. Like, apart from that, like it all depends on the job, right? Like, let's say I'm applying for a BPO job, or I'm applying for a software engineer job, or I'm even applying for a beautician job, or I'm
Yeah.
applying for
Mm.
any marketing job. It depends on
Mm.
job to job. There's no such thing. Like one good quality is how presentable you're presentable, meaning not appearance. Like
Mm.
how do you express your thoughts? How
Mm.
clear you have, how clearly you can express your thoughts to the another person. That's one of the
Mm.
things. Like forget about the biggest problem solving analytical skills, that this and all that comes with the later stage. Like
Mm.
one, whatever thoughts you have, how do you convey the same thoughts, or how do you convey the same message to the person? That's one of the
Mm.
good skills I usually look, or it's a must have skill apart from the job description. And then
Right.
I don't say communication, because communication is required for some job, communication doesn't require for some job.
Mm.
And presentation and clear thought process, and
Mm.
like these are the top two things I can see as of apart
Perfect.
from the job description.
Yeah. Perfect. So I have one more question. I have a couple of more questions actually. So there is Chetan Achari who says, what would be your best suggestion for a newly joined recruiter? That's a great question. For a recruiter who's joined newly to an organization, what is your advice to learn the things at the earliest, at the earliest possible? I think that's a phenomenal question. How did you fast pace your career when you just joined in your first job or something?
I am blessed with such a nice managers who helped me to like groom me so well, what I'm today, and how well I have grown from the way I've joined. So same
Mm.
uh, I tried replicating to my new recruiters who joined my team as well. Uh,
Mm.
one First we make sure that introducing them about the culture of the organization. Okay,
Mm.
culture is a backbone for any organization. Every organization operates at a
No,
different
but I think
system,
he's
operate
asking from the point of view. If I'm a new recruiter, I've joined an
recruiters.
organization. What can I do by
Right.
myself?
See, recruiters are just like creating your own miniature, right?
Uh,
What first is like first telling, hey, this is a culture of the organization. Once you learn about the culture of the
right.
organization, then you will
Mm.
have to uh, tell or practice that culture in everything. As a recruiter, is
Mm.
foremost important. Let's say anybody, any software engineer joins, that doesn't make difference. Like for him to understand the company's culture in first 3 months, but for as a recruiter, it's very very important for him to understand the culture of the organization in the first place. Once that is, once the recruiter learns that, and the next thing is understanding the process of the recruitment, like how we operate, what type of candidate experience that will give, what are the tools, technologies that we have, and how the overall organization compensation structure looks like, what is that we are offering to the candidate. These are the top three things, like any recruiter who newly
Mm.
joins my team, I teach, and I also learn the same thing. And anybody who joins, these are
Mm.
the three things which need to learn, so that they will become a brand ambassador of your
Absolutely.
organization, and they will carry whatever as the organization or the senior.
Perfect. Perfect. Love that answer. I have 2 more questions here. Before that, I think we can answer those 2 questions and then wind up. I have Sandhya here who asks, do you have any suggestions for how to get the leadership to overcome the fear of communicating to employees in an organization. Now that's interesting, right? Because the corporate communications and HR in organizations kind of become the buffer zone between the entire organization and the leadership. And sometimes I've seen that the HR might get sandwiched between the two, right? So how so how do you bridge that gap, and how do you address that kind of a situation?
See, yeah, that you rightly said. Somewhere it will HR or corporate communication teams will become sandwiched in between the goals of the organization and towards the needs of the employees. See, one
Right.
thing like to understand the intentions of both will solve the problem. Like let's say management says, I need to um, do so and so things in next 3 months, and employees say, I need to do only so and so things in next. We need to understand the intentions behind both the things. Then that will become easier. Say, let's say
Right.
management wants to start a new office in Bombay where they don't have office, and employees are so reluctant they don't want to move to Bombay. First, understanding the intention behind why management wants to open a new office in Mumbai, and understanding why my employees are not okay to move to Mumbai. So, as
Right.
an organization, as a HR, we need to make negotiation stronger from the both side. We should not say like whatever employees say incorrect or whatever management say incorrect. Like understanding the intentions and bridging the gap between what is required, what is not required, and dealing with the win-win situation will help for both the management and
Awesome.
the employees. But I have seen there are managements which will work backwards. Like they first understand what the employees want, and they start work backwards, or what organization needs, and they work backwards. There's such
Right.
managements also, but there are different types of management. But as a HR, like one negotiating between both the parties will help.
Right. Awesome. Fantastic. I have one more question here from Praveen, who says, what is the toughest part if you find, okay, this is interesting. What if you find 4 to 5 good candidates, but you have to choose only one? What do you do then?
Yeah, that's definitely a tough question. See, uh, it depends on the organization, right? Like some organization prioritize first come first serve. Like uh, let's say I selected 5 candidates. I will not have any bias towards all the 5 candidates. I treat all 5 candidates are equally good. Then only I've selected all the 5 candidates. That's one. Second, I will prioritize the candidates. See, these 5 candidates, this is the top candidates, second, third, fourth, five, like this type of 5 candidates that I have. One best thing I do is whichever the first candidate I will, if I feel all 5 candidates are equal, then I will give offer to the candidate who is shortlisted, who are selected first. Then 4 other candidates, I'll tell them, hey, we have got 2 other people or 3 other people who are for this role. Hence, we wanted to deprioritize your candidate. Whenever the next job role opens, you will be the first person that we will come. You have selected,
Right.
but still we might wait for the new position to open. Or I have
Right.
another role or a new, the same role open in different city. You may want to try. I will give that option. Like let's say in the priority list, I will give
Right.
the first priority candidate and offer the second,
Perfect.
third, fourth as a buffer candidate. That's how my framework I
Awesome.
use.
Awesome. Loved it. I think that's a good problem to have. And I think
Yes.
you've given a good solution to address that too. All right, thank you so much. And I have one last question before we wind up the
Sure,
session.
sure.
You already spoke about the importance of social media in being able to hire in this. You kind of spoke about it at an organization level, but I know you yourself are personally very active on LinkedIn. Amazing content. So I want to advise all the listeners here, please look up Sumukh ji on LinkedIn and follow him. His posts are really incredible and draw a lot of engagement, lot of insightful comments, even in the and very engaging. I see you respond to a lot of the comments and everything. So I want you to,
Yes.
as the final question, final note here, I want you to tell the importance of personally being active on social media, not just as an organization.
See, personally, I believe what I believe and why I started is I just wanted to deliver something for my people around. Just not only doing, I get my salary every month, I do my job, I enjoy with my family, I socialize with friends. Just not only that, I have an intention to help people around. with my expertise. That's where the trigger come, where I started writing. I spent a lot of time thinking about my previous experience, understanding, going to a lot of blogs, journals, topics, and then we'll make a point. So the trigger will be different for when people, somebody wants to build their own personal brand, they want to do marketing, they want to do sales for their company, or they want to do some social job. See, for me personally, I want to give some value for people who are around with me. Hence the trigger of started writing in LinkedIn. Hence I only just not only write anything and everything. I just only have very few topics on how as a candidate or how as an employee will what are the things, tools, techniques, hacks that will help anybody. That's what I hear, right? And that's where I want to bring some that novelty to my people around.
Absolutely. What I'm hearing is you're saying be genuine, be compassionate, and do the best that you can for others around you, and you know, and the result will automatically show up. Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sumukh, for your time. And before we wind up, we promise to give out gift vouchers to 3 of the best questions. So Sumukh, would you like to pick up the 3 best questions, or would you like me to do that?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, I think the first question that Yugandhar asked was really good about, you know, the transition. How do you handhold, or what influence can you personally have for 6 months after doing the recruitment? Then there was another question which Chetan Acharya asked. He said, you know, as a new joined recruiter, what can you do to be able to get a hang of things as quickly as possible? So I think that's the second one, and the third one I think was. Kiran asked about 5 things that can make a candidate take up a job in a company with a lesser brand value. I think these are 3 amazing questions. So thank you so much, Yugan. Thank you everybody actually for being so participative and taking your time off. Today is a Friday and it's a holiday for a lot of people. Despite that, you could be watching something on Netflix or something. You took that time to attend this particular session. Really appreciate you taking that time off, and appreciate everybody's participation who asked these questions. And Yugandhar, Kiran, and Chetan Achari, thank you so much for your questions. And somebody from my team will reach out to you and tell you how you can take advantage of the gift voucher on safety.offineeds.com. Before we wind up, I want to thank you, Sumukh. Thank you very much. It really meant a lot. We spoke about a lot about talent acquisition and recruitment. But I think that is where employee engagement really begins. That's where the seed is sown, and then it grows over time. Thank you so much. I sincerely enjoyed speaking to you. I hope you had a great time too.
Yes. Thank you so much, Shrikant, for inviting me on your show. Like, I really enjoyed, and it was insightful for me as well. Like, I was thinking, like, oh, these are things that introspect me as well. It was a wonderful time. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Sumukh, and thank you everybody. Have a fantastic weekend and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye.